might be live. We'll see later. We're live. Hello.
Hey!
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Hello. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm excited to talk some of the graphs.
Oh my God, I know.
Some
It's
wrestling.
less
And this
the
makes
drama.
it a little less, it's a little less, depressing.
Less dark.
So I'm excited about that.
more tea. We're just drinking tea this time. We're not hurting. We're not allegedly
no
doing anything allegedly wrong.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. Well, let's get into it. Folks, or by folks I mean Colin.
Yes.
And Alicia.
And
Alicia, start us
and
off.
David A. Lopez.
And David A. Lopez, absolutely.
Yeah.
Member of the team.
That's right.
What's the main event of All Out gonna be?
Oh wait, something's going on here.
Uh-oh.
Classic.
Oh,
Hang on.
no.
I got this.
What'd you do?
This is why we come in early, Jordan.
Well,
this is why.
We're going to be sipping some tea and throwing a little shade.
This is awesome.
Oh, Jerry Legend spent way too much on All Out tickets to be in the dark about the matches this soon to the show. I totally understand that, Jerry, but I also think that, like, I'm just going to come out and say it. The main event is Punk and Mox.
100%.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You
Yeah.
can't end it on such a short beatdown like that, like completely being annihilated and not let him come back for that huge pop and to finally like have that moment. They need to have a proper match, has to be a proper length, and it can't just be, all right, I'm going to beat the shit out of you and take both titles. Like there has to be more to it. That's my vibe on it all.
What did you think of the squash, Alicia?
I couldn't stand it. I thought it was ridiculous.
Wow.
Hot take.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with either guy even. I just really think going into something like that and creating such a hype and knowing that both can wrestle their asses off, it just did not seem super legitimate to me. Like, I love seeing an actual fight. So just to kind of call it that, if it leads up to the main event, then flawless. But if not, and we don't see Punk show up to face Mox, what's the point?
So do you think it would have been more effective if they had just waited and held off until the pay-per-view rather than doing this like, oh, well, what'll happen now type?
Absolutely, because you have Mox carry the title then for 2-3 weeks before, and then that's how long he held it if it goes over to Punk. Like, I just don't see much
9
of a
days
in that.
or something. Even
not even 2 weeks. That's ridiculous. So I don't know. Part of me like, I don't know who else they would bring in for it. We can probably throw a couple of names around after we give our take on if Punk will come back.
I mean, realistically, MJF is the only even
and you can't do it.
No, you can't do it
in 4 days.
No, it's got to be Punk,
unless they're going for like AEW's biggest pop, like out of nowhere. MJF music hits, bam. That's the only thing where I think I'd be happy. You know?
I agree, but then like in hindsight, we'll probably be like, damn, that deserved a, because he's not losing. If they put him in that spot, you can't have MJF lose after all that.
No,
and then you have the same problem with Mox only holding the title. Mox is, Colin. What do you think? What did you think of the squash? You and I talked already, but tell Alicia.
I think
and David A. Lopez. Tell David A. Lopez.
Shock that David. To me, the shock was so like. I was sitting here in this very chair, jaw agaped, and I rarely feel that, you know, genuine. Because when that started, I was like, I have no idea where this is going, and in that regard, I like where they're going with it, or like what they're doing, because the last few main events have been not in a bad way, but predictable. But in the sense where like the opposite of WWE, where WWE, you're like, please let this guy like have this good thing happen to him, and then he gets shit on for a year, and then like maybe diarrhea, poo poo from the clouds,
just
from
everywhere.
below, everywhere.
Yeah.
But this time with AEW, they tend to give the people what they want with these long-term storylines. And I do like that going into this. I had no idea why they were putting this on TV first, and then it ended, and I had less of an idea of where it was gonna go after. So
Yeah.
in that regard, I'm down. I'm fully down with it. Would I have rather seen a beautiful painting that I know these men can paint together? Of course. But now they've just built the drama of the story with his foot for the pay-per-view.
Right.
His foot.
I'm in agreement with you, Colin. Go ahead, Alicia.
No, please. I'd love to hear your take too. I was mainly just gonna say I am curious if there was a slight 1% chance where they aren't going to have Mox versus Punk. Could they bring in somebody who was recently again one of those let go people of WWE? Like it would have to be big enough of a pop, just like with MJF, for us to care. So I can't see it being anyone other than CM Punk in that regard.
Yeah,
but I'd love to know
absolutely.
what you thought of the squash as well.
So I'm kind of with Colin because I like I'm of two minds. I like this, but they gotta a lot of this type of shit has gotta stop. Like I don't want this to become their new 60-minute draw match, and do this type of thing again before the year is over. It's you kind of only got one shot at one of these things, and they're kind of in a very unique position because of all of the probably mostly bogus backstage rumblings or whatever. I think they were able to build some drama out of it because we were like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like people thought the squash was like a punishment and or whatever and all this nonsense. I think a lot of that, like the day after, people were like, "Oh, Mox pushed this match," and if whether he did or not, whatever actually happened, I kind of don't care. I'm enjoying this story. It is a very unexpected. The only other option is Punk comes back, beats Mox decisively, and then we're kind of like, all right, well, that was what happened to an interim champion. I guess so. So this was a very unexpected way to do it. It creates a lot of doubt in Punk, and a lot of doubt that they would only, we're having that conversation. Can Mox only have a 9-day official title reign?
Right.
Well, we're kind of putting all that together. And I think the story of CM Punk in Chicago, coming back, can he overcome his leg injury to beat Mox? Mox is going to be a heel to the highest regard in Chicago.
I mean, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
You really think maybe? Because I just feel like
people love Mox.
But in Chicago, where it's like Punkland, I don't know.
Here's the thing, squad.
Mm-hmm.
What if we do get an MJF return during this match to help Punk win?
I've thought about it. I think that it's going to be a little too hard to turn Punk heel in Chicago only at a year.
I also think MJF is kind of like a total babyface to the audience.
I was about to say, what if both of them just play it baby and MJF comes back in complete baby mode? He's done what he had to do, and now it's the refacing and rebranding of him as a wrestler.
I think we gotta get on neutral ground to do that because, we were in Ohio last week. Right. That's Mox's hometown. That's a fun addition to it. Mox wins in his hometown, and then we're gonna have the knockout drag out in Punk's hometown. I feel like Long Island, Ohio, and Chicago got to be off the table for
these big story moments.
For the turns. We got to see what's happening because you also got to write out. It's okay, well, here are the heel turns or face turns or whatever, and then you got to plan to get to the city. All right, how do we write around the fact that do we need to write around?
He's unbooable here. Yeah.
He unbooable town. Yeah. So I think it's all complicated. I think that pretty soon the narrative around the backstage being mad at CM Punk or whatever, I think that shit's gonna die down because I think
it just sounds like such malarkey that how
how long can it go on for? But then again, I'm saying that as we're probably soon going to get into more drama. So
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it could go on for a long time. Animosity doesn't die quickly.
We don't even know if the animosity is real or whatever. Like there are people. There was the report last week that that the locker room is split between like Punk and Hangman and Mox or whatever. And I just don't really. I don't think that like half
who's
of
going around being
room,
like, whose side are you on?
Who the fuck is gonna be like, dude? Even if like the negative thing you can put on Mox is like, okay, he might have pushed to like get like it was reported he pushed to have a squash of the biggest star in the company, but also this is a dude who spent his entire second title reign putting lower card motherfuckers at the top of the card.
True.
Like giving everybody world title matches. No one's mad at him. Like I don't think anyone is. I think that the CM Punk drama is fabricated. Like he came out saying that like he's building to fight Hangman Page. That shit is not. There's no way that shit is real in my mind. I think that that's malarkey, as Colin said.
Nah, it's the perfect word for it. But what I love seeing is how they're getting all of these WWE or ex-WWE legends to kind of chime in on their specific podcasts, because I was listening to Conan, Booker T has his Reality of Wrestling one, and they're all talking about the drama like it's real. Like they know it's real, because back in my day in WWE, everyone didn't like each other, so of course it's real. And I think it's fascinating. So I'm wondering, like, are they getting like tipped off to just say this shit, or do they genuinely also believe
it gets the clicks,
in
brother.
that hype?
We know how it is.
Every time the clickbait, of course. Yeah. But I'm curious, like, what their real hot takes are on that shit, if it's just being fed into the media, like, oh yeah, it's all real.
That's probably the case. Because who's gonna be like, no, it's totally fake when they're asked,
Yeah, of course. I mean, we will, but
exactly.
I think eventually, a thing I have heard is just that I think they got to be careful with this kind of thing, because I have heard that like I was listening to other podcasts, talking to other kind of newer wrestling fans, and they are a little exhausted trying to trying to keep up with the drama of everything that's happening in professional wrestling. They're like, it's a little too much for me. I know people who are like, I literally need a break because life is hard enough.
No, just speaking to that point, I think a big part of it too is you would just watch wrestling before and literally watch the matches, the promos, turn your TV off and get out of wrestling land unless you were shooting the shit about it with a friend. Now it's everywhere. If you're looking social media, someone's bitching about somebody. The dirt sheets are saying this person has dirt with this person, and you cannot escape the drama. So when you're a wrestling fan and you want to know, because that online drama now ties into every storyline you're watching on television, it's a lot. It's so much.
You used to have to literally pay money to get a quarter of this information because you just couldn't get enough. And now I'm subjected to everything I don't want to see. Wrestling, like in news-wise.
Perfect way to put it.
Like, please, less, because things will get spoiled for me inadvertently, because that's half of wrestling journalism, as we know. Or the other half of wrestling journalism is just making shit up. So I mean,
the live tweeting.
It's
where, like for 3 hours straight, I see a tweet every millisecond, breaking down every single move to every single win to every single ref call. I'm like, oh my god, just enjoy it.
Give it a rest.
The fact that literally, like, dude, Twitter was analyzing CM Punk's foot in the wrestling match. Like they're all football announcers trying to figure out like why the kick went awry. Shut the fuck up.
It's a predetermined entertainment program.
What the fuck? No one's getting squat. Don't do that. No one's literally getting pinned.
No.
As against their will. Like, it's not happening.
We have to remember that wrestling is fun. Yes, it's a business, but you're watching storylines. So
Yeah.
please just go and enjoy these things, especially as fans, because the fans and the journalists are the ones that really push it forward and make such a crazy focus on the stuff that's outside of what we're watching on the screen. So just take it easy. Just take it easy.
Which we're guilty of right now, but like we're here we're here with the
we're shitting
counterpoints
on-
too. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Shitting on it all.
Give me the nice stuff too. I need more, like, I want report on the fact that like Effie and Brody and Alley Catch all went to Lady Gaga together and had a wonderful time. How about some of that?
Or
how about some friendship?
Eddie Kingston donating his entire guarantee for some match to some charity just now.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
See, that's the shit they should focus on. I didn't even know that happened.
Bright side of the ring. You know, that's what we're all about. You know?
Yeah, light side of the ring.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
TM.
All right, the bright side of the ring. There it is. Bright side.
You're damn right.
All right.
What's the next topic, Jordan?
I guess the next.
Let's go through some of these comments real quick. MJF can return at Grand Slam and NY. That is,
if they want to face,
highly probable.
I've literally only seen MJF in New York, and it is euphoric.
Deafening.
Really? That's the only spot you've ever seen him.
Well, I live in in New York, so it's my only option. But every time, here's the first time I saw MJF in New York, it was the same night that Bryan had his first match in AEW. It was at Grand Slam, and it felt like people were more excited for Bryan wrestling, but of all the face pops, MJF
is the hottest.
Oh my god.
Well, now we're a year. That was 1 year ago. So I'm interested to see what they do 1 year later. Zach Sabbath said animosity should start playing again, which we all agree with, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Happy the word was brought up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. All right. What's the next topic there?
The next topic there is
fix the fern back.
That was a great cadence you had on that one.
Apparently there's a Vince Russo claims that he has been working for the USA Network for years, giving them notes on WWE and how to fix it.
A guy named USA has been texting him like, "Hey, what did you think of Raw this week?" And he's probably like, "Bro, I'm consulting this week, bro, for 2 years. You don't even." He's confused.
I imagined that to a T, and with the bros he threw in, it was a flawless thing to envision because I could really see that's how it's going down.
USA.
Man,
here's the thing. I've never really seen. I've seen like clips of Vince Russo era, but I've never watched like the television that he made.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
dude, if you want to keep your reputation, like, of 2 years is literally the worst that WWE has ever been these last 2 years.
Yeah,
the worst until the Triple H takeover. Like, maybe if you wanted people to think that you were like good at your job, you should have been like, I've been consulting for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks, yeah.
For 2 whole weeks. That's why people think that it's Triple H, but it's really it's really Vince Russo.
Here's the thing: everybody goes on record to say like nobody has any say about what happens other than Vince McMahon. There are ideas, but everything goes past him. At no point is the USA Network, other than them being like, "Hey, could you put a world champion on the show?"
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's ever like USA had crazy input in this like amazing part of the show.
No, what was weird to me is when I was reading some of the articles on it earlier, when I started kind of, seeing all of the stuff break and whatnot, I was thinking to myself, I wouldn't even thought the two went hand in hand. At first, I thought he was just directly speaking to a higher person on creative at WWE. And then when I saw it was one a part of the other, almost like a subsidiary, I thought to myself, this is almost like a far-fetched kind of thing. Why is this even going as big as it is right now? But that aside, like I could see why people brought him on. I agree with you that the last 2 years have been extremely shaky within the brand. But you have a writer who was a head writer for WWE, WCW, and TNA, where at the time, yes, there were some rocky things, but like
I mean,
yeah, no, we know there were a lot of rocky things. But then again, like he helped create the Goldust character, one of my favorites of all time. He was one of the biggest dudes behind pushing The Rock when he turned heel. And then there's like the
Chris
This Is Your Life promo.
Chris Jericho goes to bat for
the
him
whole
all
like
the time.
Foley Rock promo where he brings back everyone from his childhood. Like he did so many fantastic things, but then also some of like the worst segments within wrestling history. So it's a gamble. It's a gamble.
It's a
How much
big time gamble.
He 100% was pushing for the like my like most heartbreaking never happened wrestling moment, which is China with the world championship. Yeah, that would have been the coolest shit of all time, and it didn't happen. But he was damn sure trying. So like, credit where it's due to this weird guy. For sure.
But it's just like, you know, the few bad apples thing. You know that expression.
Mm-hmm.
The second
in terms of falling far from the tree.
No, the few bad apples spoils the batch, brother.
Yes.
The batch is gone bad.
No, he's a really interesting and fascinating character. I had him on my show a couple years ago when the pandemic first started, and I was doing Zoom interviews because everyone was just so much more accessible. I was like, let's reach out to Vince Russo.
Yeah,
and he was actually so damn lovely and fun to talk to. And he ended up singing and talking about like rock music for so much of it and karaoke. And I was like, this mind just keeps working. And every single time he says something, I'm like, that's such a fascinating concept, but it's batshit crazy. So I can really kind of see the ideas coming from this mind and understanding why some of them were so successful and why some of them were so shit.
I mean, he's the antithesis of Jim Cornette, you know, like creatively. But both of them have these personalities where you hear them speak, you're like,
they're polarizing.
What you're saying is insane, but I gotta hear you finish, you know?
It also makes sense that these are the personality types that cut through to a guy like Vince McMahon, because these guys have to like share their scripts in cutting a promo format. Like that's so nuts.
It's bizarre.
Monologues.
Cutting up only monologues.
Yeah. About like imagine The Rock like full The Rock like with a PowerPoint presentation. Like that's what we're talking about here. Which is insane.
No, I've worked with a couple of people who were one in particular was like Vince's right-hand promo person who I've done some promo work with. And he also has one of those really kinetic, crazy minds where he talks a mile a minute. He always has things blurting out. So I wonder if that's just kind of what Vince looks for in terms of having like a main promo person, because I'm definitely seeing a consistency there just from a behind the scenes kind of thing.
Yeah, cocaine. It was a big part of the 80s and the early 90s.
That's fucked up, but that's the truth, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
Sure is. Not sleeping due to external sources that smell really good. It must. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Maybe.
I'm with you guys there.
Anybody in the chat done cocaine?
Yeah, let us know. We'd love to hear your cocaine stories.
Love a review.
I have never done cocaine because anytime that I've been around someone who's done cocaine, I'm like, I don't really want to be hanging out with you anymore.
It seems really expensive. It seems like a really expensive
It seems expensive, and I just hate having anything up my nose. Like even swimming, if water goes up, I just couldn't.
Are you a plug your nose when you're diving type girly?
No, but if I'm like swimming or I turn upside down under the water or something happens where a little bit sneaks in there, I'm done for. It just ruins everything.
How do you do with the COVID swabs?
Decent, actually. And I had to get a ton. I think got to the point where I was getting so many, I just was like, oh, again, go ahead. Stick it.
11 sneezes minimum.
Oh, I love to sneeze, so I have like a I have kind of a good time.
All right, this is now we have entered a kink territory.
Kink, don't shame me for my sneeze thing, dude.
No, enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like every 8 sneezes. Okay, all right.
I don't love. I like David's bringing up a great point. I don't love like hang out with somebody who's on cocaine, but my God, do I love a song written on
Absolutely.
cocaine. A song about cocaine.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Like, dude,
Top notch
like
shit.
every Queens of the Stone Age record fueled by cocaine, and it's great.
Supersonic is probably about cocaine. I would feel like.
Yeah. Oh,
every other Oasis song is cocaine driven, which is like
all of them were fueled by
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were actually sponsored by cocaine.
That's right.
When you look in the history docs.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
They're in the liner notes.
Big cocaine. Big cocaine is really keeping Liam going.
Yeah.
Anyway, wrestling, huh?
Anyway, wrestling, folks.
Yes.
All right. So last week, I like the time slot of our show because we are directly before the wrestling week starts, so we get to talk about everything. Nothing is a spoiler for anybody, because if anything was spoiled, it happened already.
It's true.
Right? We are directly before Raw starts. So right after we went off the air last week, Johnny Gargano just like walked out.
ever so casually too. Like it was just like, oh, I'm back. What's up?
Yeah, not a run-in, not a saving Ciampa or beating up Ciampa. After
2 weeks of being like, yeah, I'm gonna come back, and then he just was, and then people like, I like the really slow reaction to the crowd figuring it out, but that was also like kind of his. He did the short tag run thing with Ciampa up there, but like other than that, this is kind of his debut.
Yeah,
and that's how they did it.
Oh, I never actually thought of it in that sense. That's true, isn't it?
It was his Raw debut, and I don't know. I think it was it got a delayed reaction. I think that they thought it probably would have been bigger than it was, and this was a little bit of a miscalculation, but I also think that Papa H loves that little guy so much.
He really do.
Yeah, it could have just been, hey, let's get him back on TV. Let's get that paycheck in his family's pocket and let's roll with it and then kind of brainstorm more storyline. That could have been the reasoning behind it feeling so sudden and so rushed and not really thought out. Maybe.
Totally.
Well, also you can't like shutting the lights off, turning them back on again, run it. It's like I appreciate trying something different.
Yeah, just hit his music, or get him out there.
Appreciate the idea. I think that the like delay was definitely due to people just were literally not expecting like direct. I think it's also different because they did it right after a commercial.
Yeah.
So people are just hearing the Raw theme song and the logo for like 4 minutes and like not expecting anything to happen.
And they hear the music and they go, wait, I think I know this song. Oh, I do know this song. Oh, this is Johnny Gargano's song. Oh, wait,
there's nothing really in the back. 100%. There's nothing really in the back of their mind to preface that for them whatsoever. So you kind of have to dig deep almost into that nostalgia bin that you haven't thought of in a hot minute and be like, oh yeah, I should be excited. Oh shit.
He was just
you could see it
floundering and swimming around in NXT 2.0 for a while without this song. So people probably remembered whatever he was using as a bad guy there.
Yeah.
And then he comes back with this one.
Rebel Heart also, like, I don't have a problem with the actual song. Like, I think the song is totally fine.
A fine song.
A
fine song.
Not a great wrestling song. It's not. It doesn't have a snappy sting. It kind of hits, and it's like
it's there.
It doesn't feel wrestling to me. Next week, folks, we're gonna be remix booking Johnny Gargano's music.
I love it.
I've missed that. So can we please?
Yeah, let's do that next week.
Let's get some bangers for him going.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm 100%. ready. I already got
one. It. Yeah.
I already got one. That's great.
Are we all just gonna give him No Doubt?
No. I'm gonna give him a song called Cotton Eye Joe.
Nice.
Cotton Eye John. You know?
I hear it goes pretty
Cotton Eye
well with
with
Cotton Eye Wrestling.
with
Johnny
any.
Cotton Eye.
Yeah. Cotton Eye John. All right. So I mean, yeah. Obviously, we welcome him back. Who doesn't love Johnny? You know?
I love John. I'm a little bit in the camp of like there was like the hot minute after Takeover New York where it was like, all right, not every match can be 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was a little much. It
Sure.
got to be a lot, but he's incredible. I love like
I
love that he comes out with like a different stupid Marvel outfit. It's dumb, but I love it.
That needs to end across the board.
Enough.
Just throughout wrestling in general,
Yeah.
do you mean?
No more cosplay.
Only once.
You should be a thing that is cosplay.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, don't be another. I don't understand.
Unless I can be you for Halloween, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, the only time I've seen it where I loved it was when I saw Rey Mysterio at Double or Nothing, and he had this cool bright yellow Wolverine getup, and he just looked so fucking cool.
But he's still Rey Mysterio, you know?
He's Rey Mysterio. It was incredible, but I see it so much now, especially within indies too, and I'm like, man, nowadays you really need to stand out and not just copy something else.
Yeah.
So I don't know, unless it's a federation where there are some where you just simply wrestle in cosplay and it makes sense.
Yeah, the Marvel AAA mixed tag that was cool.
There's so much fun. There's so many cool little promotions like that are just a blast.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I think it's fine to incorporate subtle pieces.
Pay homage.
To the gear. You can do an homage. Like, weirdly, I think that like whenever that I weirdly think like as far as you should be going is like Rhea Ripley with the Saiyan gear, with the Dragon Ball gear, because it's so subtle that like a regular person could just be like could have no idea. It just looks like gear.
You could still be Rhea Ripley for Halloween in that gear, you know?
Absolutely.
Yes.
But yeah, it'd be driving me insane. And yeah, Rey Mysterio has been doing that gimmick, like dressing up like superheroes since like 1996. The best match he ever like, you know what, like number 2, number 1 match of all time in most people's books.
He looked like the Phantom.
He was dressed like the fucking Phantom.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
But you don't necessarily need to know that.
No.
He still he looks like Purple Rey Mysterio.
But we know, and Billy Zane knows that
Billy Zane.
What he was doing.
I love me some Billy Zane.
Listen to your friend Billy Zane.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
Do you know the whole thing with the Phantom?
No, but I love the movie.
Nah.
Dude, it was written by Joe Dante, who made Gremlins.
Yeah.
And he wrote it to be like a comedy. And they were like, no, this needs to be badass. And they fired him from directing it. And then they brought a guy in, and Joe Dante watched that movie, and he was like, they didn't change the script. They just like shot it, but they didn't do any.
Yeah.
They shot it dry as if all the jokes are not jokes.
Fucking badass. Movie rocks, man.
Badass.
I wanted the skulls so bad when I was a kid.
Ring?
Yeah.
Totally.
Wanted it. Needed it. Might
Shout
get it now.
out to Demon Knight. Yeah, Demon Knight is great. Billy Zane. Love Billy Zane.
Friend of the show, Billy Zane.
Friend of the show, friend of the pod, Billy
Friend of the pod, Billy Zane.
Absolutely. But I don't know. Like, are they? We'll find out tonight if Johnny Gargano is going to be part of Clash at the Castle.
Right.
Are you guys excited? We should go through the Clash at the Castle card.
Pull it up, bro.
Yeah, let's pull this baby up. Let's do this.
Let's do it. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch the whole thing, and I'm excited because this is really. I think that this is gonna be Triple H's like big statement. We're really gonna see the most difference in WWE since his takeover at this.
This
show.
is Saturday,
I feel like
right?
There's a lot. Yeah, it's Saturday.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what time it's gonna start.
I think I'm gonna be on a plane, and then when I land, have no PVR. So I'm mainly gonna be just seeing what happens via the wonderful wrestling journalists and fans we love so much.
Via GIFs. You'll be watching some GIFs.
Via GIFs. Oh, the amount of times that's happened. It's so frustrating. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see certain people, I think, at this and see what surprises can potentially happen or swerves. But is there a match in specific that I'm like jonesing to see? Not really on this
No,
one.
other than like what has to be Drew's big moment, you know?
Especially where it's taking place. It just has to happen.
Just, like there's no excuse at this point.
I still think like they gotta do. Like even if you do the thing where Austin Theory cashes in and Drew pins him.
Right. Oh.
Fine.
That could be a good swerve too, to make no one really look weak, and it doesn't matter if Austin really does, because it's bound to happen at some point. Yeah. So that's actually a strategic little move there. Well done.
I thought that Karrion Kross was gonna get added whenever he started peeking his head up.
Yeah, I thought that as well, because I didn't really realize building that up in such a moment and then kind of taking that away. Like we all especially thought too was going to come down to them. So I don't know where that leaves him and Scarlett at all amongst all of that, but we'll see if they fit them in somewhere.
We will see.
There's so many people predicting like different run-ins for this main event. Like I think mostly because of the unpredictability of it. Like it feels like Drew has to win, and Roman cannot lose. And it can't just be like Lex Luger at SummerSlam. Like Drew has to win.
He's got to win.
Has to hold the belt in.
Is this? Have they?
Like so he's got to end Brexit with that belt.
This is 5 days away. He really does. Which have they announced? If it's for both belts?
It says undisputed WWE Universal Championship is the match.
So if he wins, he owns both belts.
Yeah, that's what it says. Undisputed.
They got 2 shows to change that. But maybe that's like how Roman finagles getting one of them back is be like he pinned up like Austin Theory, not me. This is bullshit. Blah blah blah. Or like there's a technicality.
Well, yeah, you can with the briefcase. It's a title shot. It's one title.
Right. So, they can get out of it with that type of shit.
Yeah, there's some tomfoolery they can pull.
Do tomfoolery the night after. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
It's just we want.
What's the card? Hit me with the card.
The card is there's only 5 matches announced.
Jesus.
Then we got SmackDown Women's Championship with Liv Morgan and Shayna Baszler.
Interesting.
Right.
Interesting. It feels like Triple H loves Shayna, and
obviously.
Like, I love Shayna. I'm a Shayna stan. She's out there listening to Bolt Thrower.
I was literally just about to say, like, she listens to Bolt Thrower.
Yeah, so she should win. Just because she likes Bolt Thrower. But also they've done, like, I feel like Liv Morgan as champion was a Vince decision, a Vince appeasing the audience. And I think that Triple H just might not be that interested in it. Or, like, I think Liv has been ruined by people who didn't like most people hated the Ronda Rousey SummerSlam match. They hated it.
Right.
Most people were in your shoes, Alicia. Just hated that shit.
No, it'll be interesting to see, because it'll kind of, I don't know if it's going to come down to creative where he's like, let's just get rid of her as champ at this point and put it on to Shayna, because we know that she can carry something like that and be super entertaining and wrestle incredibly. So she already has that like stardom to her. She has for years. But I don't know if it will be that abrupt, and maybe that's what the decision's based off of, or it could be something else creative wise where they want to do something else with Liv. Like, I don't know. Or maybe she just keeps it. I'd be shocked, but maybe she keeps it. I don't know. Because it doesn't seem like too much build up for that either.
No.
So is that worth her dropping it In my opinion, would I like to see her drop it? Yeah, but is it worth it? Not at all.
I would totally be
Right.
down with a long build to Shayna versus Ronda at Mania.
Totally.
It'd be awesome.
Oh, two like prime grapplers just
Ass
doing
beaters,
their thing.
yeah.
That would be so good.
I feel like the move would be like put the title on Shayna and then have and then have Ronda eventually beat Shayna like right before Mania, maybe at the end of the year.
And then
you
Shayna win the Rumble?
No, I was gonna say, dude, we gotta. I feel like the move for a lot of fans is proper Becky versus Ronda singles.
Sure. Yeah.
Becky's injured. She should come back at the Rumble, win the Rumble for the second time, and properly beat Ronda at Mania. That's what the people want. That's an easy.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. I do see with Triple H in charge. I feel like the long-awaited 4 Horsemen of NXT, like 4-woman match, will main event.
Oh yeah, because he was riding that wave so hard, especially having so much input in that, and it gave us some of the best matches we've ever seen, not only in
literally
wrestling,
ever,
but wrestling
100%.
period. So to see that back, not only the nostalgia hit, but just like the excitement of following these women for so long and just being able to everyone like throw the shit up. Oh, it'd be great.
Yeah, that's like a once in several generations moment.
And he's the one to do it.
I feel like this year is about Roman and Rock at the top of the card, but next year
they haven't even
WrestleMania.
Do you think think he's just gonna win the Rumble?
I have whatever.
Yeah, I mean I'm there. I'm either way. So it's here. It's down the street.
Everybody wants to see the Rock,
of course.
Yeah, why would
I'm a human man? Exactly. I want to see the Rock.
That is how that works.
It's how that works. But next year is WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. If there's ever a perfect WrestleMania, and honestly, a perfect crowd,
crazy crowd,
to be a crazy motherfucking crowd, they're insane people. I'm partnered to one of them. She's a maniac. She can't be controlled, and none of the people. That's the type of crowd that you want for the 4 horsewomen at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia.
You could be right about that.
No, just hearing you explain it all, it just makes sense being in a city like that. I mean, even when I remember I made my whole kind of like bad bitch crazy girl debut in Charlotte, and then we went to Philly not long after, and they just hated. I've never been called so many horrible things in my life, and that Philly crowd. That goddamn Philly crowd tore me a new one, and I loved it. I was like, please, everywhere be like this. So to have that there, you're right. That would be insane. Absolutely insane.
Philly hates women.
Right?
Philly fucking hates women. Like, whatever. Get the heat.
Oh, yeah. But the best part is we get to yell back. So
there you go. Bada boom.
You get to throw horseshit at them. They expect it.
I gotta bring some next time.
There you go. I'll send you some.
Speaking of a multi-woman match, next up is a 6-woman tag team match between Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky.
Okay, I mean I'm loving this team, their new little faction. So
unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's got to be Bayley, Dakota, and Io.
Yes.
I agree, right? Especially after that big return, the girls not being there for so long. And then I found out too, I was watching something where Dakota found out that she was going to be wrestling and making that appearance 24 hours before it went down. So just knowing it's so, like that made me so happy. I love her. She's a sweetheart. So just seeing all of that and just knowing the wrestling techniques that they bring to the table and how much fun they're having out there, like it'd be very cool to see them win just personally.
Absolutely.
But either way, we're in for a good match with that one. Like, am I psyched for it? Not necessarily, but will it be
once the bell rings, we'll be like, oh, this is actually going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel, you know?
Potential show stealer.
It's gonna be great. I love that they're like letting Dakota like cut most of the promos too, because just her. I love a silly accent.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And she's New Zealand as it gets.
Yeah, you dickhead.
Right?
I'm gonna pin you. I'm gonna pin you. You dickheads.
I'm gonna pin you.
That's really good.
Next up, speaking of weird voices, we have Riddle versus Seth freaking
Oh,
Rollins.
this is happening in the UK. This
Yeah.
is gonna be fucking crazy.
Yeah, Riddle's massive over there. I
This
never
is gonna
realized
steal the show.
the magnitude of that until interviewing him for the first time. But like, shit, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, this is like
love
this is like
him.
years in the making too.
Yeah, because they had what?
They had
real life
beef, and now I think they're buddies, and now they're like, yeah, dude, let's work together, bro. You know, I'm very excited for this. Damn, I didn't know this was on the card.
They are both of these dudes are so like you can't take anything away from Riddle as like a wrestler.
No,
He's fucking unbelievable.
he's a prodigy.
Like scandal acknowledged. The character is great too. Like
yeah, he's a Kurt Angle caliber talent.
He's one of the only people I have ever watched completely mess up a promo like blatantly and say, "Oh, can we restart that?" I think it was with Asuka, and literally live on Raw. And I was baffled by it, but it was still so fun to watch. And they literally restarted the promo live. She was like, "What's going on?" No one can get away with that
It
shit.
was
You'd be
so
fired
awesome.
instantly. But it almost was like his character, even though it was a real life screw up. It's like, who
Yeah,
cares?
it
This
worked.
is great
Yeah, so-
television.
The other time he was like doing a promo with somebody and he had a scooter and he was just like, oh.
And then he just
It's awesome. Fucking awesome.
It's fucking awesome. He's this match is gonna be fucking sick.
Yeah.
We've talked about it numerous times. I have no idea what Seth Rollins' gimmick is.
The Joker.
Don't understand it. I don't know why they think it's I don't know why wrestling thinks that freaking.
Oh, the
is like a
freaking
cool thing
freaking
to
is
say.
one of the worst creative ideas to ever happen.
It drives me insane. It reminds me of when my mom used to babysit, and so I couldn't swear in front of the kids. I say freaking all the time, and it would be right there, close to slipping. Like there's nothing about that word to me that brings something where I'm like, this is really cool.
Yeah, nothing badass about it. If
One
you're
of the
trying to
least
make
cool
me,
things.
if you're trying to make me laugh, yeah, censor yourself. I think clean cusses hilarious.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Like
Monkey fighting.
bugging,
Yeah.
freaking, yeah, monkey fighting is great.
Find a stranger in the
Motherfucker.
Alps is hilarious,
Yeah.
Shit talkie.
Yeah, that's classic.
I love is there anything funnier than like a beeped swear word?
No, like
It hits.
the
hits.
Kimmel unintentional beeping segments
Is so fun.
so good.
Unbelievable
Yeah.
stuff.
Just like
I
regular monologues from movies, but it'll just be like, yeah, I have to. I should just start doing
I
this.
love it's just spike to the imagination. Do you have a beep?
Yeah, I was thinking about going and some more, but then I don't. I'm all out of. So so tired of this.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
that's good.
I love it. We need to implement that more.
You got it.
All right, and finally, we have a Intercontinental Championship between Gunther and Sheamus.
Oh, I don't care.
First IC title match on a pay-per-view in like 2 years.
Really?
Here's what I am gonna say. Sheamus has been misused for years, and we've everybody's tired of him. But like, when this motherfucker, these dudes are gonna beat the shit out of each other. Sheamus is also milk white.
It's crazy.
The chops are gonna be amazing.
He's gonna look completely insane.
Yeah.
By the end of that. He's gonna look like the bleeding through album cover by the end of this.
He's been having
just an open heart.
Dude, Gunther's been having like crazy matches on TV.
Yeah.
like heaters. So
No, this is an interesting matchup because I've always loved Sheamus, and you're right, he's been kind of buried the last couple of years, so you kind of forget all of the spark that he brought to a lot of those earlier matches,
Big
and
time.
how he wrestled like literally the biggest names in WWE, and every match was so damn good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, Gunther for me, I love the power that he brings every time, but I just am never crazy. Other than if he's like destroying someone, I'm not really there for the wrestling. It's more the theatrics. So it'll be cool to see how they can balance off of each other, but it's not what I'm necessarily stoked for. Just like how we aren't really for like many in this card, but at the same time, I will watch it. I will see if it surprises me because you know that they can both wrestle. So it's just gonna matter what else kind of happens in between. But I don't know. We'll see.
I also just now that Vince is gone, can we get just like thick Gunther back? I need it. I cannot.
I think he made an irreversible lifestyle change.
I am forever bummed. I will say he is so much. I just maybe I'm just too attached to it. Like I love just a big thick guy. Like that's like it was like that.
He is
about like that month. Like any body type can whoop your ass.
He is
and it was cool.
He looked like a wrestler. I remember growing up watching 80s wrestling and seeing every dude with the perfect V back. Everybody was super trimmed in the middle. You could see every rib cage, and they were all thick dudes. You know, they look like you would completely whip your ass. And I'm not by any means degrading anyone who is wrestling in any other style or shape or whatever. But like to me, that was a wrestler going up. Just some big, super built dude, tall guys, thick dudes. So seeing him and seeing like other dudes who were like that all the time made me just feel nostalgic, thinking, man, this is wrestling. This is fun to watch. So I miss seeing that, and I like seeing more of it. But at the same time, it's like
he's probably gonna live like 10 years longer. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for him.
It is fading out. That's exactly it. I'm psyched for everybody, but like to me, that's what my mind goes to, those action figures. So that was kind of cool to see, but now that's gone too. So we'll see if how long that lasts.
Right.
I just loved seeing. I was like, this guy is just like this guy
a monster.
Bread and meat.
Yeah.
And then walked into the ring. Like he won a hamburger eating contest.
Like, oh yeah, I forgot
at the restaurant, and then he went and whooped someone's ass.
True.
It fucking ruled.
Yeah.
But
he's I've been through a similar kind of transformation, you know. So I know what this motherfucker had to do for that. So I see the work. So and it's like, yeah, I love a chubby guy, you know, who.
Oh no, he still looks great.
He looks unbelievable. But yeah, he was a monster, and now he's like a shredded wrestler.
Yeah.
Right. So I just miss I miss him being like a fucking monster.
Yeah.
They gotta get the world's whatever song back. They gotta get that shit back.
Agreed. It's fucking royalty free. What is the issue?
Yeah. It's the fucking sickest. It's like top 2 entrances.
Straight up. Agreed.
People are singing classical music.
It's free to use. It's literally public domain.
Why do you pay the weird new guy to write a song that no one cares about when you could have paid nobody and you would have just had a Shinsuke Nakamura level entrance
100%
ready to go?
Because they wanted a song that they can own. That's the problem, you know?
That's so... Oh, I hate the fact that that's exactly it,
That's why Sting got a new song when he debuted there, and like... But they used in the like video game commercial, and then he came back and just had some nondescript royalty-free WWE owned song.
A crow cawing.
Yeah. And it was just like do. When they have this iconic thing that they can use, bullshit.
Yeah, just like. You know, give the people what they want.
Give me what I want specifically.
Just think about it.
I want. You brought back Rebel Heart. Bring back the free song.
Amen. I will. God. We will re-record it. You can own that.
Yeah,
there you go.
Easy.
We got. While we're at it, like Karrion Kross, hit me up, Colin about switching tongues, baby.
That's right.
We'll work it out.
You can use whatever you want in your promos, sir.
Um,
Yeah, we're almost wrapped here. It's almost time. Do we have any
Oh, wow.
closing
we
Today
wanna
remarks?
talk a
flew
little bit?
by.
Did.
flew by. Do we want to talk a little bit about the All Out card, or other than the title match?
I mean, let me see. Was there anything here
We
that I was actually
can,
excited about?
or we get to talk about it on Monday after the show.
That's true.
Hey.
Was true?
I mean, is there anything on there that you
Folks.
guys are really, really excited about for that card?
The whatever's going on with House of Black and Sting and Darby and Miro, obviously.
Love it.
Right.
I'm all in on.
Mm-hmm.
Really excited for the trios championship.
Oh my god.
I know that's gonna be good. Whoever, I mean, it's got to be Dark Order versus the Elite, right?
The Elite. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's good shit, man.
And it's got to be
That
the Elite got to take home that.
100%.
They just
think
do. I love me
they
some
just
Johnny.
they just do.
I love me some Johnny Hungee, but come on,
Come on,
come on.
grow up.
I think I'm weirdly most excited for Bryan versus Jericho, just because those are two of my favorites to watch individually. So to see them both, like I keep mentioning nostalgia today, but there's a lot of it for some reason right now for me in wrestling, and just like seeing both of them is going to be so fun.
It's gonna be a clinic.
So much fun.
It's gonna be an education
Well
course.
put. Well
we're gonna
put.
get that beautiful white zombie entrance again.
Oh yeah. Come on now. All right.
Look, I know that Judas is his band.
He can't
I
give it
want
up.
White Zombie forever. I want it.
It's gonna
I'll
be
never
like
get
yeah, I know. It'll probably happen then and maybe once or twice.
Couple
a
more
year.
times.
But now that they've done it, the Pandora's box is for sure open. But that is
Mm-hmm.
that is our show today, everybody.
Wow.
Thank you
Look
so
at
much.
us
Sure
go.
is.
I know we did it. Another one down.
Woo.
Hopefully, again, I'd like to be doing this till I'm dead. So,
Yeah.
I'm
thank
with
you
you.
so much for joining us. We will see you next Monday.
All right. Good night, everybody.